For someone that's never been to Fort William, track aside, like how would you describe...
Don't come. That's hard. How would I describe it? The scenery is epic. I'm gonna be positive here. The scenery is epic. The weather's terrible, the bugs are terrible, but it looks really cool.
It looks like New Zealand. So if anyone's ever been to like the South Island of New Zealand, it's beautiful, so nice.
I think it's great to ride a bike. Probably more for trail, for this kind of riding, I think is really nice.
I don't want to tell someone to come and they'll be pissed off. If you come, take the sleeper train. The sleeper train to Fort William is awesome because you like get on, you go to bed. It's like the Harry Potter Express from London. So if you have to come, take the sleeper train.
I mean, the weather is, you know, challenging.
It's kind of one extreme to the other. Torrential rain, absolutely miserable, or blazing hot, dusty, glorious sunshine.
So you definitely need to come prepared. Come prepared for that sort of thing. And all weathers. It could be 30 degrees and then it could be 15 degrees and sideways rain and hail. We've been here when it's been snowing at the top before, so that's always fun. Bit of everything. There's a lot of midges though.
Midges?
Getting annihilated by midges.
I don't think you can talk about Fort William without talking about the midges.
And you quite often get eaten alive. But the atmosphere, I would say second to none, but after Leger last year, that'll take some beating, so. But yeah, normally the atmosphere is unreal. There's fancy dress, there's beer, there's just, I remember going home, my whole palm was just bruised from like battering the barriers at the bottom. It's like people just love it. People that don't even really do mountain biking come up to watch it. That's how big a deal it is up here.
The crowds at Fort William, wild, noisy, really good. Maybe not quite snowshoe level, but, and yeah, maybe not quite Leger level either. But no, I think Fort William would give Leger and snowshoe a run for their money on spectators.
Full of drunk Scottish people. I don't know, everybody's fans here. Like everybody rides bikes and there'll be entire families. There'll be like school groups walking through. It's a thing, like it's rad. Definitely one of the better venues. Like I said, everybody's together. The pits are in one big car park, along with vendors and restaurants, food, drinks, stuff like that. So that part's really cool. The accommodations are always a bit iffy. You've got to drive. There's horrible traffic, things like that. So it doesn't make it, you're either here or you're gone. It doesn't make it super conducive to everybody hanging out because you want to get home. We're pretty lucky in that we can ride back and forth to the venue relatively quickly, unless it's pouring rain and then it's as fun, but it still happens. I don't have a bike, so I got to run in the morning. And now I have to run home and I don't want to. Shit.
Jordy's picked up trail running.
Oh man, such a trail runner. It's like watching a hippo run. They move pretty quick, but not for very long.
Do you have any standout memories or stories from Fort William?
Last time World Champs was here was pretty fun. The curry house we were in last night used to be a club. Rory Cunningham won Worlds and everyone's like on the bar, on the tables dancing and flipping glasses were getting smashed everywhere and it was wild.
When Taj first started working for Fox, it was the first race he did, and I came along to hang out, and it just so happened that for some reason, I think the stickers that all the forks had come with, the logos weren't showing up well enough in pictures, so they had different stickers that were more bold to put on the forks that looked better in photos. And Taj was like, hey Jules, can you maybe do these for me because I'm not very good at making the stickers straight. So I did the first set, and then at that point it was Kolya, and he was like, oh Jules, take this one, do this for me as well. And then eventually we had a table at the side and I had all the forks lined up and a big pile of stickers, and I just did all of the stickers on all of the forks. And I think that was probably, yeah, the start of me getting to know everybody that eventually ended up in me getting a job here. So the start of my journey happened in Fort William. And then my first proper race as a contractor servicing was in Fort William a couple of years later.
I was working for Steve Pitt, and then we won here the final, World Cup final. And then for me as a mechanic, it's the most, like, you know, working for a British rider and winning is in his own crown, and it was just like a dream come true at the end of the season. And then And actually I didn't know the results because Steve was like the last man from the hill because he also won qualify. So until the gondola came down, I didn't know if he won it or not. So the only thing I remember is like one of the team came with a Cano Stella, and after that I don't have memory. I don't know what happened the next 20 hours, to be honest. But it was like, that was for me, for William, they always remind me that moment of for a mechanic winning here. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it was.
Is that why you grew the Steve Pete tribute facial hair?
Of course.
Yeah, so the first World Cup I ever came to ever, so as a fan, was in 06. And then I came the second year in 07, which I think was the last time Worlds was here. Yeah, it was awesome. I've never seen Worlds before, so me and my dad, we took the week off, came up, just hang out, watched it all. Met a bunch of people, remember meeting Steve and Rennie. I remember Sam won, 0.64 I believe ahead of Burrell. And I think Sabrina Johnnier took the women's as well. It was a classic Iron Horse 1-1 across the circuit, but yeah, it was a great weekend.
Dang, would you have guessed then that you'd be here now?
No, funnily enough. Yeah, I remember, I think we ended up chatting to like, I think it was Rennie and Steve for about 20 minutes, half an hour. It was, I remember it was real wet, and he had like a cut up tyre on his seat, and Rennie was basically telling us that he long-armed a gator and put it on there for some extra grip. And found the whole thing to be totally surreal, and yeah, it was awesome. Never once thought I'd ever be on this side of the tent, but here we are.
I had some really bad luck with Fort William, I think. I didn't qualify here like 4 times back in the day. One day I was having a pretty good run and I crashed, I can't even remember, where was it, near the road gap or something, like pretty far down. Go back up, my peak had snapped like where the little pieces that hold it, you know, the screw they used to have, it snapped that, so it had come past that. So it was over my face and I was trying to push it back up, but it was jammed on the little piece, so it wouldn't go up. So I had like this much vision to try and finish my run, like honestly, a peephole. And I finished, didn't qualify. I remember Windmaster was walking around with my helmet on, but I was pretty devastated at the time. So there's one from Fort William. What else? Eddie beat me here by like 0.1 of a second when he had tailored kit once. He had like a custom jersey sewn in and smoked me. I had a few mechanicals at Fort William, so I hope for better luck this week. I think that's all I got for Fort William. Crowd's gonna be insane though. Bring it on.
I do have a standout Fort William memory. It's not necessarily the best, but I think it was the first time I worked for Bernard in 2018. We had the old bus and it had a slightly different awning. But I think it was just before finals day, like so after qualies, we were working late, like getting the bikes done, and the rain just like came down so heavy. Never seen it that heavy before. And we just about finished packing up the bikes, like bikes in the stand, and suddenly I looked up and there's this huge pool of water above us, and it was all collecting, and we're like, oh no, what do we do? Me and Kurt, the other mechanic, like ran around, like tried to get a broom to push it up. It was just too heavy by that point, so we just quickly like, let's go, ran to the back of the thing, and the whole thing just collapsed on us. The whole awning just collapsed on Bernie's bike, like bent the stand in half. Somehow the bike was all good. But so to this day, I don't really like it raining here because I'm a bit scarred from that. And then the next day we're just in like shitty easy ups.
There was a day of jumping rental cars. That was pretty fun. It's so sketchy too. I didn't partake at all. Of course nobody
not.
I knew.
No.
We were all super mature. There've been a lot of good Fort Williams. They do a really good job here too of making it kind of a festival. Tons of vendors and food, and it's always just so crowded. It's crazy.
Just for someone who doesn't know, like what's the general thing with World Champs and the bike designs?
Most people for World Champs do like a country themed bike. It doesn't seem to be Bernard's theme ever, is the country theme. It's kind of anything and anything that he thinks looks cool basically. Which is cool because then he can kind of do what he wants. So we're on the prototype Phoenix bikes, so we're not, well, I don't think we ever asked, but it's nice to keep them as they are, raw and fresh and looking good. But we're gonna do stickers for the, like all the decals and on the rims and everything, just to match the lowers. So it will still be like quite a cool looking overall bike, but not actually painted the frame. Luckily Fox let us do the lowers.
There are so many parts of World Champs that feel completely new and exciting compared to any other World Cup race, but a lot also stays the same. Track walk is one of those things, which is tomorrow, so we'll see you then.